All right, so you want to be an embroiderer.
You've got the skills with a needle and thread.
But how do you show them off in that interview?
How do you really wow them?
Well, that's what this deep dive is all about.
We're going to help you get ready to absolutely crush that embroiderer job interview.
We're using RoleCatcher's Career and Interview guides.
For embroiderers, of course.
And we're going to pull out the absolute best tips to help you shine.
It's fascinating, you know?
What's that?
A lot of people, they just don't get how broad this role really is.
Yeah.
It's way more than just stitching.
Right.
You're designing, you're problem solving.
You're like a technician.
Exactly. Bringing textile art to life. That's what it's all about.
And speaking of bringing things to life, did you know the job outlook for embroiderers is seriously positive right now?
It is.
RoleCatcher says the demand for unique, handcrafted items is booming.
People want that personal touch, you know.
That's where you come in.
Absolutely. They want sustainable, one-of-a-kind pieces.
It's a huge advantage for someone skilled like you, listener.
Totally agree.
So let's get into it, shall we? The interview guide's got 9 sample questions.
We're going to unpack every single one.
Think of it like a practice run.
Huh.
Get comfy with what those interviewers are looking for.
Ready to jump in?
Ready when you are.
Let's do it.
All right, question 1. They often start with this. Can you tell us about your experience with different types of embroidery techniques? Seems pretty basic, right?
It does, but they're not just looking for a list.
So what are they really trying to figure out here?
They want to see how deep your knowledge goes.
Yeah.
Anybody can rattle off a few techniques.
Sure.
They're looking for someone who understands the nuances.
They do want it.
Yeah, like when to use each technique, what makes it special, how it all fits into a bigger project.
So don't just say, I know chain stitch.
Exactly.
So our listeners should.
Take it further. Talk about how chain stitch is perfect for bold outlines or maybe for decorative elements.
Ooh, I like that.
You could even mention its history or how the texture is different from, say, a satin stitch.
That shows real passion.
And knowledge.
It's almost like you're teaching them something, even though you're the one being interviewed.
Love that approach.
Okay, question 2 gets into quality control. It asks, how do you ensure the quality of your embroidered work? Best way to tackle this one.
This is where you shine as that meticulous, professional.
Sure, when you've got a system.
Yeah. It's not just about doing the work. It's about showing you've got a system for making sure it's excellent every step of the way.
So should the listener walk them through their routine, like a mini masterclass in quality embroidery?
Exactly. And mentioning specific tools or techniques can really make a statement.
Okay, give us an example.
Sure, like, do you use a light box to check for any imperfections?
Oh, that's smart.
Or maybe a particular method for securing your threads?
These details show you're serious about your craft.
Absolutely.
All right, listener, think about that quality control checklist of yours.
How you can really highlight that detail-oriented side of yourself.
Question 3 gets a little collaborative. It asks, how do you handle design changes or revisions from a client or supervisor?
Ooh, this is a big one.
Why is that?
Embroidery often involves working with others.
Right.
They want to see you're flexible.
Right.
And a good communicator, of course.
So it's not about digging your heels in.
No way. It's about how you gracefully handle feedback, how you incorporate changes while still respecting the original vision.
Should the listener come prepared with a specific story?
Definitely.
Like a time they had to deal with a tricky revision.
Yes. A real example shows you can actually do this.
Not to just talk about it.
Right. Highlight how you listened to the client, clarified any confusion, and ultimately how you found a solution everyone was happy with.
You're turning a potential negative into a positive.
Exactly.
You're showcasing your ability to adapt and to collaborate. Okay, question 4. This is where you unleash your inner artist. It asks, can you walk us through your process for creating a custom embroidery design?
Ooh, I love this one.
This feels like a chance to really shine.
It is.
So walk us through it.
Here, they want to see your creative process, from that initial spark to the final stitch.
From spark to stitch, I like that.
Where do you find your inspiration? How do you sketch it out?
Do you use any specific software?
This is about showcasing your unique approach. What makes you stand out as a designer?
Should the listener have a specific design in mind? Something they can talk about?
Having a recent project you're excited about can definitely help.
Makes sense.
Walk them through the steps, mention any techniques or challenges you overcame.
So you can show them you can not only design something,
but also execute the plan flawlessly.
I can already picture our listener rocking this answer.
Okay.
Question 5 is all about staying current. It asks, how do you stay up to date with current embroidery trends and techniques? This is where passion meets professional development, right?
100%.
So what are they looking for here?
They want to know you're committed to growth, that you're not just relying on what you already know.
Okay, so how do you show that?
Mention specific blogs you follow, workshops you've taken, even online communities you're part of.
So, like, did you learn a new stitch recently?
Exactly. Or maybe you were inspired by a cool exhibit. Show them you're always seeking knowledge.
And inspiration. Speaking of inspiration, let's pause here for a sec. Let's weave in some wisdom from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Okay, I like this.
It really emphasizes the importance of networking for embroiderers.
It does.
Why is that so crucial? Why is networking so important?
Well, this field thrives on connections. Networking can lead to some amazing things. Collaborations, mentorship, even job opportunities.
It's about building those relationships.
Yes, attending industry events is a great way to do that.
What about online groups?
Those too. Or even just reaching out to another embroiderer you admire.
It can make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
So listener, think about how you can build those connections.
It's not just about finding a job. It's about being part of this vibrant community.
Okay, back to the interview questions. Number 6 asks, how do you manage your embroidery projects from start to finish?
Ah, yes. Organization skills.
Essential, right?
They want to see you can handle the whole project lifecycle, not just the stitching part.
So, like, do you have a system for tracking deadlines?
Exactly. How do you communicate with clients or collaborators?
So you're not just an artist.
We're a professional who can deliver.
On time and to spec.
Precisely.
Okay, so think about your process, listener, your tools, even your mindset when you're approaching a project.
Yeah, do you break things down into smaller steps? Use visual aids? These details matter.
It's like giving them a glimpse into your organized and efficient work style.
Yeah.
Now, question 7 is all about handling the heat. How do you handle tight deadlines for embroidery projects?
Ooh, this can be a tricky one.
Why is that?
Well, deadlines are something everyone faces, right?
Okay.
They're really asking, how do you manage stress? Can you prioritize?
And most importantly,
Can you maintain quality when you're under pressure?
so it's not just about saying, I work well under pressure.
Right.
It's about,
Giving them concrete examples.
I like it.
Have you ever had to pull an all-nighter to finish a piece? How did you stay focused?
What about prioritizing tasks?
Exactly. Did you have to make tough decisions about what to focus on first? Show them you can handle the heat and still deliver amazing work.
This is where a good story can really make you stand out. Now, before we move on, I want to touch on something that can give you a serious edge in your job search.
Okay, tell me more.
RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, yes. This is where things get really interesting.
So tell us, how can it help?
Their AI can analyze job descriptions, like really break them down.
To identify the most important skills.
Exactly. And then, get this, it helps you tailor your resume and your answers to highlight those specific areas.
Wait, so it's like having a personal assistant who knows exactly what employers are looking for.
Pretty much. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Plus, it gives you personalized feedback to help you refine your responses, increase your chances of landing that interview.
That's amazing. So, listener, as we dive into these next few questions, keep RoleCatcher's AI in mind.
It could be the secret weapon you need to stand out.
Exactly. Okay, question 8 asks us about a challenging project. It asks, can you tell us about a challenging embroidery project you worked on and how you overcame any obstacles that arose? What's the key to knocking this one out of the park?
This is all about showing off your problem-solving skills, your resilience.
So how do you do that?
Pick a project that had real hurdles, maybe a tricky material, a last-minute design change, or even just a really tight deadline. Walk them through it, the challenge, the decisions you made, how you ultimately succeeded.
So you're turning a potential negative
Into a positive.
right. You're showing them you can handle those curveballs.
And still deliver.
All right, listener, think about that project that really tested you, how you came out on top. Finally, question 9 zeroes in on client satisfaction. It asks, how do you ensure that your embroidery work meets the client's expectations? Seems pretty straightforward, but what are they really getting at?
They're checking out your communication skills
Okay,
and your dedication to exceeding expectations.
so it's about more than just stitching what they asked for.
Exactly. It's about understanding their vision, clarifying any doubts they might have, and ultimately delivering a piece they'll absolutely love.
So you're not just a technician.
Right. You're a true partner. You're helping bring their ideas to life.
Talk about how you actively listen to your clients.
Keep them updated on your progress.
Maybe even go the extra mile with a thoughtful detail, or a special presentation.
Yes, it shows you're invested in their happiness.
Okay, listener, think about those client interaction wins. Those times you went above and beyond.
And really impress them. It's all about building those relationships and making sure you really exceed those expectations. While we're talking about what clients need,
Yeah?
let's bring in some insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Okay.
It highlights something really interesting. It says that customer service skills are important,
Makes sense.
but sales and marketing are important too for embroiderers.
That's interesting. It makes sense, though, when you think about it.
Right.
You need to understand those clients. You got to present your work effectively.
Exactly.
And even promote your services, right?
Especially if you're freelancing
Yeah.
or running your own business.
Those are some great points. The guide even offers some practical tips, right?
It does. For example, it suggests taking those online courses or going to workshops.
Workshops on what?
Stuff like pricing your work, creating a really strong portfolio,
Ooh, that's smart.
even using social media to attract clients.
See, this is what I love about this deep dive.
What's that?
It reminds us that being a successful embroiderer, it's more than just the technical stuff.
You need that entrepreneurial spirit too.
100%.
And speaking of tools and resources,
Yeah.
we can't forget about RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, you're right. We touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
But let's go a little deeper.
Okay, let's dive in.
I'm still amazed by how it analyzes job descriptions.
Yeah.
Like it pinpoints the exact skills those employers are after.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for the job market.
It really is.
And it's not just identifying keywords either.
No.
RoleCatcher's AI actually gives you feedback, personalized feedback on your resume and those interview answers. It suggests ways to tailor them to each job you apply for.
So it's not just general advice.
No.
It's specific to that job.
Specific to each job. That's so valuable.
It really is. It takes the guesswork out of figuring out what to emphasize.
Helps you stand out from the crowd.
So listener, as we keep exploring these questions, remember,
RoleCatcher's AI
could be your secret weapon.
for crafting those compelling responses, the ones that really resonate with employers.
Okay, moving on to question 10. It asks, how do you manage multiple embroidery projects simultaneously? This is a classic. They're checking out your organizational skills.
Making sure you can juggle those deadlines, prioritize effectively, and still maintain that high level of quality across all your projects.
Exactly. Think about how you structure your work, listener. What tools do you use to stay organized? How do you communicate with those clients or collaborators?
Yeah, keep everyone in the loop.
It's all about showing them you've got a system.
Right. Whether it's a spreadsheet, a project management app,
Or even a wall covered in sticky notes.
exactly, whatever works for you.
The key is that clear and effective system. And don't forget those moments when priorities shift.
Oh, yeah. Or when those unexpected challenges pop up.
Flexibility is key.
And adaptability.
Okay, question 11. Can you tell us about a time you went above and beyond for a client? What kind of story should our listener have in mind here?
This is where you show them you're dedicated to client satisfaction
Yeah.
and that you're willing to go the extra mile.
Give us an example.
Think of a time you exceeded expectations.
Ah,
Maybe you pulled an all-nighter to meet a deadline,
that's dedication.
or came up with a really creative solution to a design problem, or even went out of your way to source a special material.
It's about those moments that prove you really care about your clients and the quality of your work
Exactly.
and the impact, right?
Yeah, don't forget to highlight the impact of your actions. Did the client say thank you? Did it lead to more business?
Maybe it just reinforced your reputation.
As a reliable, dedicated professional.
Those are all great points.
Yeah.
All right, question 12 can sometimes feel a little tricky.
Oh, which one is that?
It asks, how do you handle criticism of your embroidery work?
Ah, yes. This is a test.
A test of what?
Your professionalism and your ability to learn.
Okay, so talk us through this one.
It's not about being perfect.
No one is perfect.
Right. It's about how you respond to feedback.
And use it to grow.
Exactly. They want to see you're open to constructive criticism, that you don't take it personally.
And that you can learn from your mistakes.
Which we all make.
So instead of getting defensive, the listener should.
Emphasize their willingness to learn and improve, of course.
I like it.
Talk about how you really listen to feedback.
Asking clarifying questions.
Yes, to make sure you understand. And thank the person for their input, even if it's hard to hear.
It's tough sometimes.
It can be, but it shows real maturity.
And then the most important part.
Explain how you use that feedback
To get better.
to enhance your skills. to deliver even better work in the future
It's about turning that potential negative.
into a positive learning experience.
All right, question 13 is all about looking ahead.
The future.
It asks, where do you see yourself in 5 years as an embroiderer? This one can feel a little daunting, I think.
It can.
But it's also a chance to dream big.
Absolutely. It's about showing them your ambition, your vision for the future, how you see yourself growing in this field.
They want to know you've given it some thought.
Yeah. That you're motivated to develop those skills, take on new challenges.
So should our listener have a specific 5-year plan all laid out?
It's great if you do, but it's more about showing you're actively thinking about your future.
So, like, do you see yourself specializing in a certain type of embroidery?
Maybe leading a team of artisans.
Starting your own business?
Or becoming a recognized expert in the field.
It's about painting that picture of where you want to be.
And how you plan to get there.
And remember, listener,
it's okay to be ambitious.
Interviewers are impressed by candidates who have a clear vision.
And the drive to achieve their goals.
Now, before we move on, let's loop back to RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Love those career insights.
Me too. I love how it outlines those different career stages for embroiderers.
It's a great roadmap.
Yeah, like what are the typical responsibilities for each level? What skills do you need?
It's really helpful for understanding that potential career trajectory.
And it emphasizes continuous learning, right?
It does. It recommends taking more advanced classes, experimenting with new techniques and materials.
Seeking feedback from experienced embroiderers.
Oh, yeah. Get that mentorship.
Staying up to date on industry trends.
It's all about pushing yourself to learn and grow.
So important in any creative field.
Absolutely.
All right, back to those interview questions. Question 14 asks, can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem with an embroidery machine? What are they trying to figure out with this one?
They're assessing your technical skills.
Okay.
Your ability to think critically, to find solutions when things go wrong.
Because they will go wrong.
They always do. They want to. You're not just a skilled operator. You understand how the machine works, and you can handle those unexpected challenges.
So it's not just about knowing how to use the machine.
Nope.
It's about knowing how to fix it.
When things break down.
Exactly. So think of a specific example, listener. When you encountered a technical problem.
It could be a broken needle, a thread jam,
A software glitch.
or something completely different.
Walk them through it.
Yeah, the steps you took to figure out what was wrong.
And how you found that solution.
It's about showing off those problem-solving abilities. Your resourcefulness.
And the outcome, right?
Oh, yeah. Don't forget the outcome. Did you fix it yourself?
Did you have to call for backup?
Or did you come up with a creative workaround?
Highlighting that ability to overcome those unexpected hiccups.
You really impress them.
Okay, question 15. Can you tell me about a time when you received negative feedback on your embroidery work? How did you react? This one can feel a bit daunting.
It can.
But it's an opportunity.
To showcase your professionalism.
Exactly. It's about showing you can handle constructive criticism, that you're willing to learn from those mistakes, and use that feedback to improve.
Absolutely. And remember,
What's that?
receiving criticism.
It's normal.
It's part of the creative process.
In any field.
Exactly. So pick a specific example
Okay.
where you got feedback that made you adjust.
Or rethink your approach.
Exactly.
And when you're describing the situation,
Is it positive?
no negativity,
No blame.
just the feedback and your reaction.
Right. Emphasize your willingness to learn and grow. Talk about how you really listened to that feedback
Ask questions.
to make sure you understood and you thanked the person for their input.
Even if it was tough to hear.
Yes. And the key here,
Yeah.
to show a positive and professional response.
So explain how you took that feedback to heart.
What you did to address the issues
How it helped you improve.
and deliver better work in the future. It's all about turning that potentially negative situation into a positive learning experience.
Okay, moving on. Question 16. How do you stay inspired and motivated as an embroiderer? Let that passion shine through, listener.
Let it shine. This is your chance to share what fuels your creativity, what keeps you engaged with this amazing craft.
What are some of the things that inspire you, listener? Is it nature?
Sure.
Fashion?
History, different cultures.
It could be anything.
It really could. Think about those things that spark your imagination, the things that make you excited to create.
Share some specific examples. Maybe you love going to art museums.
To study those textile
Or
designs.
you're glued to fashion blogs.
Gotta stay on top of those trends.
Or maybe you're fascinated by traditional techniques.
From around the world.
It's about showing them that you're always searching for new inspiration.
And that your passion for embroidery goes beyond the workplace.
Now, how do you take that inspiration and put it into your work?
That's the next step.
Do you play around with new materials, new techniques?
Do you sketch out your ideas? Do you collaborate with other artists?
Maybe you just need some time to daydream.
Let that creativity flow.
It's about showing that you've got a process for nurturing that creativity, that you're constantly evolving as an artist. Okay, question 17. Can you tell me about a time when you had to work on an embroidery project with minimal supervision? They're looking for something specific here.
What is it?
They want to see your self-reliance.
Can you take initiative?
How confident are you in your skills?
They want to see that you can manage your time effectively, stay focused on that task at hand, and deliver amazing work without someone constantly looking over your shoulder.
So what kind of story would really showcase those qualities?
Think about a time when you worked on a project with limited supervision. It could be freelance work, a personal project.
Even a work project where you had a lot of autonomy.
Exactly. Highlight the challenges, how you overcame them.
Did you have to make decisions on your own?
About materials, techniques, design choices.
Did you have to troubleshoot any problems solo?
Did you manage your time to meet those deadlines?
It's about proving you're resourceful.
And that you can handle those solo flights with confidence.
And don't forget,
The positive outcomes.
right, did the project turn out well?
Did it get compliments from clients or colleagues?
Did it lead to more responsibility, more opportunities?
It's all about showcasing those moments where your independence led to tangible results.
Okay, let's move on to question 18, which focuses on your collaboration skills. It asks, can you describe a time when you had to work as part of a team on an embroidery project? This one's all about teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It really does. It's about showing you can communicate effectively,
Share ideas, compromise when needed.
contribute to that shared goal.
They want to see that you're a team player, someone who can collaborate and contribute to a positive and productive work environment.
What kind of story would really showcase these skills, you think?
Think about a time when you were part of a team on an embroidery project. It could be a work project, a school project, even a volunteer project.
And when you're describing that project,
Highlight those roles and responsibilities.
of each team member,
Yeah, how did you divide up those tasks? Did you brainstorm together? Did you give each other feedback on your work?
what about conflict? Did you have to resolve any disagreements?
It's all about showing you understand the dynamics of teamwork and that you can contribute effectively to that group effort.
And of course, those positive outcomes.
Yes. Did the team reach its goals? Did the project succeed? Did it get great feedback? Did it strengthen the team's bond?
It's about those wins.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into a question that tests your attention to detail. Question 19 asks, how do you ensure consistency and accuracy when creating multiple copies of the same embroidery design?
This is where you show them you're meticulous, that you're committed to delivering top-notch work every time.
Especially when you're creating multiple pieces, they want to see that you get the importance of consistency, that you have the skills and techniques to make sure it's accurate all the way through. So listener, how do you showcase that precision?
Start by emphasizing that consistency is key in embroidery, especially with multiple copies of the same design. Even tiny variations can throw off the whole look.
Right, and the quality of the final pieces.
Exactly. So then, talk about the specific steps you take to guarantee accuracy.
Okay, walk us through it.
Using precise measurements, for one. Marking the fabric super carefully. Using the same tension settings on the machine.
Double-checking your work at each stage.
Yeah, all of that. It's about proving you've got a system to minimize errors.
And ensure consistency.
Exactly.
And don't forget about those tools and techniques.
Oh yeah, those can really showcase your attention to detail.
Like templates, stencils.
Specialized software to guide your stitching.
It's those extra steps that make the difference.
They prove that each piece is a faithful copy of the original. Okay, moving on to question 20. This one's about handling the pressure. Can you tell me about a time when you had to complete an embroidery project under a very tight deadline?
We've all been there.
Deadlines can be intense.
They want to see you can stay calm, prioritize, and still deliver quality work.
Even when the clock is ticking.
So listener, how do you shine in this situation? How do you show them you thrive under pressure?
Think about a specific project with a tight deadline. Work project, personal project.
Even a volunteer gig.
Yeah. Walk them through how you managed your time.
Did you make a schedule?
Did you break the project down into smaller tasks?
Did you eliminate those distractions?
Did you work late? Or ask for help when you needed it?
It's all about those strategies for navigating high-pressure situations. And don't forget, the outcome. Did you meet the deadline? Did the project turn out well? Any positive feedback? What did you learn about time management?
It's about showing them that you can handle the heat and deliver amazing results. Okay, question 21. It asks, what are some of the challenges of embroidering on different types of fabrics? How do you adjust your techniques accordingly? This one's about showing you understand textiles.
Yeah. And how to adapt your approach to each one. It's more than just knowing how to stitch. It's about that deep understanding of fabrics.
And how to adjust for each one.
Exactly. So what's the best way to answer this one?
Start by acknowledging those challenges.
Yeah.
Different fabrics, different challenges. Some are delicate, easy to snag.
Others are thick, need special needles and threads.
You got to show that you understand those differences.
So give them some examples.
Sure, like silk. It tends to pucker.
Okay.
Thick denim.
Hard to get through.
Exactly. And stretchy fabrics, like jersey, often need a stabilizer.
And then, of course, how do you adjust your techniques?
Based on the fabric, right. Do you change your needle size? The tension settings on the machine? Do you pre-wash the fabric? Do you test your stitches on a scrap first? It's about showcasing those strategies.
The ones that get you those high-quality results.
On all sorts of fabrics.
Okay, time for a question that tests your ability to think on your feet. It asks, can you describe a time when you had to improvise or come up with a creative solution to a problem during an embroidery project?
We've all been there. Those unexpected challenges, they just pop up.
They do. But this is your chance to shine, listener.
It is. Show them you can solve problems.
That you're resourceful.
And you can think outside that box.
Interviewers don't want someone who just follows instructions.
They want someone who can adapt. Find those creative solutions. So think about a time when you had to improvise during a project.
Okay.
Ran out of a specific thread color.
A design element went sideways.
A last-minute client request.
Walk them through your thought process.
How did you size up the situation? What were your options? Why did you choose that solution? It's all about demonstrating those critical thinking skills and making those tough decisions under pressure. Oh, and don't forget the outcome. Did it work? Did it meet the client's expectations? What did you learn about problem solving? It's about showing those times when your improvisation skills saved the day. Okay, question 23. What experience do you have with different types of embroidery software? What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of each?
Software skills. Becoming more and more important these days.
They really are.
This question's all about showcasing your technical knowledge, your ability to evaluate and compare those different software options. They want to know you're not just familiar with one program,
right?
That you understand the whole landscape.
And can choose the best tool for the job.
Exactly. So how does our listener impress them with their software expertise?
Start by listing the programs you've used. How proficient are you with each one? Then, for each program,
give them the key features.
The pros and cons, like, is it easy to use?
Does it have those advanced digitizing capabilities?
Is it compatible with different machines?
What about the cost?
All important factors.
It's about showing that you understand the strengths and weaknesses
of each one.
And that you can choose the right software for each project.
Exactly. Oh, and it's always good to mention any industry standard programs you know, even if you haven't used them a lot.
Why that?
It shows you're keeping up with the latest trends and technologies. Okay, moving on to question 24. It asks, how do you incorporate current fashion trends and styles into your embroidery designs?
This is where your fashion sense meets your embroidery skills.
Love it.
They're looking for your awareness of current fashion and your ability to bring those trends into your work. It's not just about technical skill.
You need that eye for style.
Right. You need to create designs that are both beautiful and relevant to what's happening in the market.
Exactly. So how do you do that?
Well, how do you stay up to date on those trends?
Do you follow those fashion blogs?
Magazines?
Attend industry events?
Do you research popular styles online?
Maybe you just pay attention to what people are wearing on the street.
It's about proving that you're plugged into that world of fashion.
But you know what's hot and what's not. And then give them some real examples of how you've brought those trends into your work.
Okay.
Maybe you've played around with popular color palettes.
Okay.
Or incorporated trendy motifs or patterns. Or adapted your techniques to create a more modern look.
It's about translating those abstract concepts
into real design elements.
Exactly. And remember, listener, balance is key. It's great to be current, but you don't want to lose your own unique style.
Don't just blindly copy trends.
Be yourself.
Ah.
Okay, question 25. Can you tell me about a time when you had to learn a new embroidery technique or skill for a project? How did you approach the learning process?
The learning never stops.
Especially in embroidery. They're looking for your willingness to learn, your ability to adapt, your resourcefulness.
They want to see you're not scared to try new things.
And that you have the initiative to learn new skills. So, listener, what's a story that highlights those qualities?
Pick a time when you had to master a new technique for a project. Work project, personal project, volunteer gig, it doesn't matter.
And then walk them through that learning process. Did you take a class?
Watch online tutorials.
Read books.
Seek guidance from a mentor. Or just experiment on your own. Show them that you're proactive, that you find ways to expand those skills. And as always, don't forget the outcome. Did you master that new technique? Did you apply it to the project successfully? Any positive feedback? Did it open any new doors for you?
It's about those wins, those moments of growth.
Okay, time for a question that dives into materials. Question 26 asks, what are some of the different types of threads and needles used in embroidery? How do you choose the right materials for different projects?
This one's all about your knowledge of those embroidery essentials.
And your ability to make those smart choices.
Based on the needs of each project, right? They want to see that you understand the nuances of different materials. So how does our listener showcase that expertise?
Start with a list
of different threads and needles.
Yeah, and highlight their key characteristics and uses, like cotton thread.
Super versatile.
Silk thread.
Luxurious sheen.
Metallic thread for that extra sparkle.
Love it.
Embroidery floss for vibrant color. Chenille needles for their large eyes. Tapestry needles for their blunt tips.
It's a crash course in embroidery materials.
Exactly.
And then, the big question, how do you choose the right ones for each project?
What factors do you consider? The fabric, the complexity of the design, the desired look.
The weight of the thread.
Yeah.
Needle size, color palette, the intended use.
It's all about showcasing that thought process, that ability to make smart choices for every project.
Okay, now let's talk about those challenging clients.
Ooh, everyone's got those stories.
Question 27 asks, can you describe a time when you had to deal with a difficult client or a challenging client request? We all know those clients who can push our buttons.
They really can. But this is a chance to show them how you handle those situations.
With grace and professionalism.
Exactly. Show them you can navigate those tricky conversations, find those win-win solutions.
So listener, what story comes to mind?
Think of a time you dealt with a difficult client.
Maybe they were indecisive, demanding.
Critical, had unrealistic expectations.
Those are the tough ones. Walk them through it. What were the challenges? How did you address them? Did you actively listen to their concerns?
Did you communicate clearly and respectfully?
Did you offer different solutions?
Did you compromise when necessary? Or set those boundaries when you had to?
It's all about demonstrating those professional skills. And of course, the outcome. Did you resolve the situation? Did you meet their needs while staying true to your own standards? What did you learn about managing those tricky clients?
It's about those moments of growth. Okay, we're almost done. Let's tackle a question that lets your creative juices flow. Question 28. Can you tell me about a time when you had to come up with an original embroidery design for a project? This one's all you, listener.
This is where you showcase that artistic vision, your passion for creating something new and innovative. Those interviewers, they want to see that you're not just following patterns.
Right.
That you can come up with those original concepts. So think about a time when you had to create a design from scratch.
Work project, personal project, a gift for a friend, it all counts.
Yeah.
Walk them through that design journey. What inspired you? How did those initial ideas take shape? What were your design considerations?
Did you experiment with different materials and techniques?
How did you refine that design until it was just right?
It's all about that process.
Showing them you've got a structured approach to design.
But you're not afraid to let those creative juices flow.
Exactly. And don't forget, showcase that final product.
Ooh, good point.
If you can, bring a photo to the interview, or even the actual piece. Let them see your creativity come to life. Okay, question 29. This one focuses on managing your time and working independently. How do you prioritize and manage your time when working on multiple embroidery projects with varying deadlines? This is key for any embroiderer, especially if you're freelancing or juggling multiple commissions.
So true. They're looking for your organizational skills, your ability to prioritize, and your commitment to meeting those deadlines no matter what. They want to know you can handle the pressure, allocate your time wisely, and get those high-quality results delivered on time and on budget. So how does our listener impress them? How do they show off those organizational superpowers?
Start by explaining how you prioritize. Do you use a to-do list? A project management app? A calendar? Maybe a combo? Do you focus on what's most urgent, most important, or what the client needs first? It's about having a system that works. Then talk about how you actually manage your time with those multiple projects. Do you set aside specific blocks of time for each one? Break those big tasks down into smaller chunks? Do you set realistic deadlines? Do you shut out those distractions?
Do you keep those clients in the loop? Let them know about any potential delays.
It's about proving you can stay organized, track those deadlines, and keep those projects moving. And don't forget, things change.
They always do.
New projects pop up.
Priorities shift.
So you got to be flexible. Adjust that schedule when you need to. Okay, last question. Question 30. Can you describe a time when you received feedback on an embroidery design that required you to make significant changes? How did you approach the revision process? This one's all about being a pro.
It is. They want to see that you can handle constructive criticism, that you're willing to adapt to make those changes, and that you're committed to delivering a final product that the client loves. They want to know you're not too attached to your initial ideas, that you can take feedback objectively, and that you're willing to put in the work to make that client happy. So, listener, how do you show them you're flexible and adaptable?
Pick a specific example, a time when you got feedback that required some major changes.
Could be from a client, a boss,
A colleague.
even a mentor.
Walk them through that revision process. Did you make sure you understood the feedback? Did you brainstorm new solutions? Did you try different approaches?
Did you ask others for input? Did you show them those revised designs for approval?
It's all about proving that you're open to feedback and willing to go that extra mile to incorporate it.
And what about the outcome? Did the revised design work? Did the client love it?
Did it strengthen that client relationship?
Did you learn any valuable lessons from the experience? It's about showcasing those times when your flexibility in those revisions led to a successful outcome.
And a sense of accomplishment.
Okay, we've gone through a ton today. Really dug deep into those interview questions.
And sprinkled in those career insights from RoleCatcher.
Right. But before we wrap up, there's one last question.
Sure.
Something to really get you thinking.
I like where this is going.
This one isn't directly from the guides. It's more of a, a food for thought kind of thing. To ponder as you prep. We've talked about those technical skills.
The design knowledge.
Even the business side of things.
Right.
But what about those soft skills? The ones that can really make or break you as an embroiderer?
Oh, this is so important.
It is, right?
It's not just about stitching. Think about things like communication, problem solving, creativity, passion.
Those are harder to put on a resume.
They are, but they're what makes you stand out.
They show you're not just a machine.
Right. You're a human with a real love for what you do.
So how do you show those qualities in an interview?
It's all about those stories.
Tell me more.
Weave those soft skills into the answers we've been talking about today. Like when you're talking about that difficult client, emphasize your patience, your communication skills.
Okay.
When you're talking about a tough project, highlight that resilience, those problem-solving skills you used.
It's about letting your personality come through
Wow.
while still demonstrating those core qualities.
Exactly. And remember, nonverbal communication is huge too.
Oh, right. Like what?
A genuine smile, confident posture, an enthusiastic tone of voice.
You can tell so much from those things.
You can. It's about making that human connection. Show them you're someone they'd want to work with.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought. Embrace the journey.
Oh, I love that.
The job search, it can be tough, but it's also a chance to learn and grow. Use this time to polish those skills, expand your network, and discover what's out there, what's possible in the world of embroidery. It's not just about landing that dream job.
Right. It's about becoming the best embroiderer you can be.
More confident, more skilled. I love it. And remember, resources like RoleCatcher are here to help you along the way. Their guides, those AI tools, the job matching platform.
They can make all the difference.
They really can. So listener, go out there and shine. Showcase your passion, your skills, your unique point of view. And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher. It's free, and he can help you make those embroidery dreams come true.
Best of luck.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.